Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC out here at the Avon Park Field. We're at the AMA Club 4747, the AMA registry. And this is Avon Park Aero Modelers Club. We're going to take up the B-25 Mitchell, the B-25J Mitchell in the Mitch the Witch livery and have a little bit of fun with her. I'm not really sure my battery checker is. I'll look around for it, but we're going to take off. Nope, can't find it, but we'll find it here a little bit. I have an idea where it might be. Wind is sort of out of the east, so we're going to go down here to the west end of the runway and take off into the wind. Get on that center line. We're on a 5,000 Superior. All the way forward or right up against the pilot's back. That's the best. The only way you're going to get CG. Take to 5,000, slammed as far forward as you can get it. All right, takeoff flaps, high rates, timer set for 5.5 minutes. And here we go. Haven't flown this plane in a hot minute.
Flaps up, gear up.
Now the gear do take quite a while to go up and down, so be sure you allow for that.
Time remaining 5 minutes.
Just a touch of up trim needed. All right, pay attention to the middle of the runway because I think I know where my checker is.
Bombs away.
I hope y'all saw that fall.
Gear down.
All right. Make sure my gear is down. Definitely with this plane, do a gear pass. Make sure your gear is down because they take a while.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
I know when you watch this, it will not be Wednesday, but for me, it's Wednesday today. So that's why I like to do Warbird Wednesday.
Landing flaps.
So now when I do my Warbird Wednesday flights, I actually do them on Wednesday. All right. Very well behaved Warbird. But she carries her weight. All right.
Flaps up.
We're going to take off this time without takeoff flaps.
Gear up. Time remaining 3 minutes.
I don't know if I ever established stall with this plane, so let's do a stall test. All right, you're flying along, you lose power. What does she do? Clean stall. All right, she just starts going, slumping forward. Now this is an expensive plane, so I'm not going to mess around too much with it. Well, I really don't want to do it with any of my planes. All right, but you do need to understand what your stall is. Which wing is going to drop. Now that was a clean stall, no elevator. Now this time I'm going to hold up elevator, and I want to establish which wing will fall. All right, losing power, holding up elevator, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator. All right, right wing, right wing. All right, the right wing is what will drop. So let's do that again, just to make sure it wasn't wind. I love that red nav light because that helps with orientation.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
Okay, lose power. Up elevator, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator. All right, yeah, right wing. All right.
Gear down. Landing flaps.
Actually,
Flaps up.
come by, do a gear pass. All right, gear is down.
Landing flaps.
Let the grass be our natural break. Still got 1:12, so let's take her up one more time. And this time we will use takeoff flaps. Boy, I have not,
Takeoff flaps.
I'm still nervous. I have not flown this plane in forever. Boy, she's very, very nice, real sweetheart. Into the wind. Wind is not all that strong.
Flaps up. Gear up. 1 minute.
All right.
Gear down.
Actually, I'm gonna let the gear come back down. All right, I see
Landing
that.
flaps.
I see the gear's down. Landing flaps are in. That's an older battery, so I'm not going to push it. There we go. All right. All right, let's go out here. You can see, I'm going to put the plane right over that checker.
Prop secured. Flaps up. Motor on.
It's got bombs, but I can't find them. I know where one is, but the other three, I'm not sure where they're at. They're in the man cave somewhere.
Prop secured.
All right, we have 32 seconds left on a 5.5 minute timer, so basically a full 5 minutes. Transmitter down there has a nice, that little there, that's just a zip tie I put in there to pull the battery hatch up. Okay, now we'll do another flight here in a little bit, but I'll be doing one 64%. I want to go up again. I want to get that, I want that battery down below 50% at least. So let's take her up again. A little windy, but that's okay. This is a heavy enough plane where the wind doesn't really affect it negatively that bad. And that 7-channel Lemon RX has a nice stabilizer in it, so it helps with the wind. You can see my shirt, you can see it's windy. Really, you can set your timer for 7.5 minutes. All right, let's get 2 more ups and downs, and then we'll check it again. But like I say, I'll be doing one Mac in the man cave report on everything about the plane, and I'll attach that video to whatever flights I get. All right, here we go.
30 seconds. Flaps up, gear up. 20 seconds.
Now this is not a fighter plane. I'm not going to do inverted and loops and rolls and things like that.
Timer expired.
Just going to fly around. I mean, she'll do some aerobatics, but this is not meant to be an aerobatic plane.
Gear down. Landing flaps.
It's windy though.
Flaps up.
Good flying bird though. Good looking bird.
Takeoff flaps.
Okay, we're not going to do takeoff flaps this time. We're just going to take off.
Gear up. One minute.
Boy, that is a beautiful plane coming at us there. Man. My bomb doors were still open.
Gear down. Landing flaps.
Or you know what? I'm using the wrong controls. I had to hit the wrong switch for the bomb doors. Well, that'd be why. And that's why she was flying kind of funny. She had that extra drag underneath. Let's push it for one more quick one.
Takeoff flaps. Flaps up.
Just a quick up and down.
Minus 2 minutes.
I'm sure that battery is
Flaps up.
well depleted now.
Prop secured.
All right. All right. Total time 5 minutes and 51, or no, 7 minutes and 51, 5 minutes and 51 seconds. Okay. Negative 21 and a 5-minute timer, so 7 minutes and 21 seconds. By God, I forgot I still had some time left before. Well, no, total time is Yeah, okay. I cannot think. 7 minutes and 51 seconds total. And I'm sticking with that, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I'm not changing it now. I've only changed my mind 9 times. Okay. Battery is a little warm. Okay. That is a beautiful plane to fly, though. All right, come on. 43% left. Man. So honestly, set your timer for 8 minutes, fly the way you want. 8 minutes, you can fly the way you come back at 25% left, so that's fine. Well, folks, there you go. That is the B-25 Mitchell from FLIGHTLINE, sent to me by Motion RC. They took whatever the $539 of my money, or however much it cost, and I want you to look at this gear real quick. I know I'll show you this back in the man cave, but just this is some of the most incredible gear. The way them doors sequence and everything. And look at this little half door here.
Gear down.
Watch them come back down, and then this little door here will close. Or actually, this stays up and the other part of the door closes. Watch that little half door there. Isn't that cool? That is just so neat. All right, let's turn it back over. I can't do this with both hands. But, yeah. And there's that Bombay, which is cool, that I'd had down. But all right, folks, well, there you go. We'll see you back in the man cave. God is good. We'll go over everything there. Don't forget, folks, faith, family, and friends, let's keep them in the air. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Well, hey, folks, Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the Man Cave studio. All right, we got out. We flew the B-25J Mitchell today. Had a great time flying. A little windy, a little bit of a storm coming in, so we had to cut our flying day short, but we still got one good flight in. So let's go over. But before we do that, let's show you how quick and easy it is to attach the wings. All right. Now, I've already got the battery in there. She's already live and everything, but I want to show you. If you look on the back, see that quick connect right there? See them where those teeth, little notches are? If you look right here, on there, there's 2 little notches there. Well, FBI calls that a clue. I know it's a common joke I like to use. But I want to just show you how easy hooking these wings are together. So when you're transporting the plane, you know, all you've got is this half here, and these are real simple. So take your quick connect. Let me turn you down just a little bit here. All right, all you're going to do, line up your spar that's already in the wing half. Go ahead and hook your quick connect. It only goes one way. Those teeth hook in. You see the light comes on there. Okay. And then make sure you fish that big, ample extra ribbon in. Okay. I like to put my hand underneath in a cell. Okay. Kind of squeeze on these 2 pins a little bit to get everything lined up. And then I push in. And that's just that quick. And now make sure both of those pins underneath there are one's going all the way back and all the way forward, and then just tug on the wing. All right, and then just repeat the same process for the other side. Plug your teeth in, little ribbon cable there in. You'll see the light come on. That way you know you've got connection. Put your spar in there. It's obvious where it goes. Kind of squeeze on the pegs just a little bit underneath. Line everything up. And then underneath this nacelle here, making sure them ribbons. I mean, you have to feel for it. I mean, it's not like an instantaneous quick end type thing. There you go. Make sure them teeth are forward. Okay, and then just grab a hold of the plane and then just kind of pull back and forth on that wing half. Make sure That is good and secure, because last thing you want is that wing to come off during the flight. Real quick, while I've got a hold of the model here, let me just show you this absolute, it's a big plane, and she's kind of heavy. Look at this gear. Watch how this gear, how these doors sequence and everything. Here.
Gear down.
It's already down. Now the landing lights just came on.
Gear up.
Watch them doors. This thing's heavy. All right, isn't that cool?
Gear down.
And I want you to look at how beefy that gear is. I mean, that stuff is, those gears, beefy, beefy, beefy. All right. Now we just showed off a little bit. And yeah, she got the Bombay doors, which I dropped my checker in because I lost my bombs. Real quick, let me.
Bombs away.
Okay, there you go. All right. Talk about the rates. All right. Now, the rates that I flew in today, flew in my high rates. Ailerons are at 100% with 30% expo. Elevator, 80% with 30% expo. This thing is a little pitch sensitive, so really 80% is all you need. And rudder is 100% with 30% expo also. My flap settings, when I first started flying this plane, I did the work, got it all worked out on the flap systems. Okay. Flaps up are -70 on a spectrum.
Takeoff flaps.
Takeoff flaps are 0%, and landing flaps are 100%. Now here's a situation where I have done it with a flight mode. So this is a perfect example of why I like just working out the mix and being able to tell you. I'd forgotten I had a flight mode with this. So all I'm going to be able to tell you is how much the rudder moves on the monitor from neutral. Okay. The elevator right now is set at 16 positive trim. Let me just make sure of that. Okay, set at 16 positive trim to make it perfectly, it's just a tear up back there. So when I go takeoff
flaps.
That changes to 7. And then when I go to landing it doesn't change at all.
Takeoff flaps.
And that's how my flight mode works. So see how hard that is for me to explain? And that's one of the reasons why I like using flight modes for me. Okay? Let me just show you on the monitor while I'm doing that. Maybe that'll help you make heads or tails of how this is working, how the flight mode works. But I've already worked out that that is what works really good. Keep your eye on the elevator here. See the elevator? Okay, it's the third one in. Okay, when I do the takeoff
flaps.
See how that changes? And then I do landing
flaps.
And it didn't change at all. Well, I tell you what.
Takeoff flaps. Flaps up.
Oh yeah, it did change. Keep it. Watch this bottom number here. The bottom number on the yellow, third one in.
Takeoff flaps.
See how that changes to 7?
Landing flaps.
And it doesn't change at all with landing. So there's very little difference in the elevator position when I change. So this is why, and I'm just showing you this so y'all understand, because everybody, I've got half y'all love flight modes, the other half says we don't use flight modes, what are you talking about? And if you figure out how to use flight modes, it's not hard, but once you do it, you take off for the first time, work out your, it's one time. You're able to get your flap mix figured out in one flight, and then you're locked in. And it records those things. So you have to understand how flight modes work. But I'm not, I don't think I have a video on. There's several videos on how to do flight modes for elevator flap mix. So TK Flyer is a great one. BD Tennessee does a great one. That's who I learned from, BD Tennessee mainly, on that kind of stuff. So look up his video. In fact, I'll put a link for this on how to do flight modes. But this is one of the reasons why I would much rather say, well, with takeoff flaps, you need a 3% down elevator, and with landing flaps, you need an 8% down elevator, or however way, and then work that out. I'd forgotten that I had a flight mode in this one, so there you go. All right, now let's talk about, we talked about the rates, we talked about the flaps. Okay, at least you know what the actual flaps look like, and the elevator does move a little bit. Let's talk about CG. Now, CG on the plane is actually very, very simple to achieve. You do not have to add any weight. Don't listen to what other people are telling you about, oh yeah, you got to add nose weight. No, you don't. This plane flies perfectly level and perfectly well if you take a good size 5,000 and slam that sucker all the way forward, right up on that pilot's back. Let me show you, not a 4,000, not a 3,000, but a 5,000. Okay, I've got a large, I don't know if you can see in there, but see the pilot there? See that yellow and black? That's the end of a Superior. I didn't carve anything, I didn't cut anything. That is the end of a Superior 5000. That's one of these right here. Okay, and this particular battery, I can just go ahead and show you real quick. This battery weighs 847 grams. Okay, so you get a big honking 5,000, slam that sucker forward, straight up against that pilot's back, and you'll receive perfect CG. She'll still be slightly nose heavy, but this is a Warbird, and that's what you want. Okay, now I think it may be, I don't remember now, it may actually be on the underside of the wings. As you can tell, we're not all that spit and polish here at Fat Guy Flies RC. No, I guess it's not. But anyways, you'll just have to trust me that if you put that, she balances just perfect. You put a 5,000 up against that pilot's back, and she will balance. She'll CG just fine right there. Alrighty, that's what I do. It's just like with the FLIGHTLINE F4U Corsair. Take a 5,000, shove it all the way forward, and go for it. Keep it simple. I believe when it comes to administration and running things, I'm a huge believer in the KISS method of doing anything. And that is keep it simple, stupid. Okay? Take a 5,000, slap it all the way forward, and go. And you'll be in good shape. Now, we've talked about when the gear's down, them lights come on. When the gears go up, they go out. Okay, it's with the sequencer. Things to look out for this plane. Be careful. This nose here, this nose guns, very easily, there's just very little points where this front big gun attaches. It attaches in the very front here, and there's a small attachment for it actually in the structure there. Very easy to break. These two are pretty strong. But this one, I broke this off more times than I can count, and what I have to do is I have to rip this off of here. It just peels off, reattach it, and then put it back, and I actually did that right before we started filming just now. The props and the ESCs were already balanced. Even though you have to assemble them, they were balanced perfectly. The ESCs were calibrated. They do rotate inwards like that. I think thrust reverse is available, if I remember right, but why would you need thrust reverse in a plane like this? I think it is, but I don't really remember at this time. I'm sorry. But you really don't. The plane slows down just fine. Flies amazing, looks amazing. Now it will do aerobatics. You'll get her up. She'll do a few rolls and loops and things. But that is not what this is designed for. This is meant to fly in, drop bombs, and take off. This is not meant to be an aerobatic plane. It can do aerobatics, but Okay, this is a very good wing mechanism. Why stress it? This plane is a better part of $600. Why stress that mechanism? Okay, it's not meant to do that. Okay, you can. Just because you have the ability doesn't mean you necessarily need to do that. Okay, I just realized I'm getting cut off here now. So, anyways, that's my rant. So you'll have to forgive me. But just because a plane has the capability of being aerobatic doesn't mean you need to fly it aerobatic simply because it can. This is a bomber. This is a scale flyer. It flies scale. It has more power than scale. But there's no point in stressing it. Okay, enjoy this plane, take care of this plane, and if you take care of this plane, it'll last you a long time. I've had this since it was released, and I want to say, what, 4 years now, 3 years now? Got many flights on it, because a lot of times I'll fly off camera. I don't videotape everything I do, and I will tell you this, it's an absolute joy to fly. You want to bring her in nice and level like any plane, and then just a bit of slight flare when landing, almost a 3-point, just enough to let the mains touch and then forces your nose down. Just a slight bit of flare, and she'll roll to a nice stop. And I didn't show it in this video, but I've got several videos of me flying. These big old honking brakes and gear are more than grass ready. This, you got a field. I mean, it doesn't have to be like a rocky terrain, but just a normal everyday RC grass field. It can more than handle it. More than handle it. So don't let think, well, I don't have a runway, I can't get that plane. No, you can. This plane does just fine on grass. Those are big honking wheels, and that's some of the best gear. Some of the best gear I've seen on our RC planes. These are really good retracts. Alrighty, well there you go. I can't really think of anything else to go over. We talked about CG, how to achieve it. We talked about some flight characteristics of the plane. Talked about the rates I fly in. We talked about my flap mix disaster there. We talked about a few things to look out for. You could mount a servo underneath that and have that turn if you wanted to. It is allowed for that. But and this right here, you just take that right there, little screw out, and that will turn, and you can do that if you wanted to. This little black is just where I've poked a zip tie through there and glued it off, and then that way when I'm going to take the battery off, or the battery hatch off, I just grab this instead of digging at it with the side of my fingernails and marring up the paint. So, all right, folks, well, there you go. Y'all have a good one. God bless y'all. This is Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the Fat Guy Flies Studios, and this is the B-25 Mitchell from FLIGHTLINE, from Motion RC. Y'all have a good one, folks, and let's keep them in the air. God bless y'all. Bye-bye.